Right, live. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. We are getting ourselves nicely sorted as well because we want to make sure that everyone's okay and everything's all sorted for today's show. If you are watching this on, or if you're subscribed on YouTube, that means that you're getting this straight away, which is great. You've got the notifications and you know that we're live. I know that we should be all up and running on all of the various fields and all the various bits and pieces. So yeah, if you are joining us at some point, welcome along. We've got one or two people that are jumping in. Hello there, everybody. Yes, what a day it's been. And indeed, what a week. We got Leanne, who's joining us. Good morning into the blue mister. Good afternoon, or a sunny day in Wales. It has been rather pleasant, hasn't it? Although it's got to be said, I have spent the afternoon bonding with my mother. We went to see a film, and I will say no more about that because I want other people to go out and see it. I want people to go out and enjoy the cinema experience. I have got myself tickets for Dune, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So I'll leave my thoughts on James Bond to my social media. I have posted on on my Twitter what my thoughts are about Dune. And well, I mean, I could actually say now, because I usually trim this bit off from the beginning of the audio version and the re-upload of the whole shebang. Yeah, and I usually do that on. I try to do it on Monday and Wednesday. Bit of a hiccup this week, so you may have noticed that those did go up a little bit late this week, but they did go up eventually. So hopefully you have seen the last week's episode. It was a great show, wasn't it? Mark Serby was a fine guest, and it was great to have him on board. But yes, yeah, Toby Tolinitino. Is it shaken, not stirred? It's mildly ruffled. I will say that the action is fantastic. There are some sequences in there which are very good. The opening sequence is amazing. But I'll leave the rest of it on my social media. So please do check out the rest of that for all the updates. Why is that really over there? That's what I was looking for. Yes, I've got my social media, my Patreon supporters rolling around. These people, and I know there are a number of people who are watching this at the moment and they're commenting, who are listed in this particular list. We'll be talking about to you very shortly indeed. Leandy, is it too early for me to pack for my UK trip? No, it's not at all. Please, we want to get you here ASAP, so please come and join us. Yes, if you are a Patreon supporter, you're in for quite the day because we've got some prezzies coming your way. We'll talk about that in a minute. But top of the hour, so let's dive into a couple of things just to remind you that yes, we are live streaming this every Sunday, 6 p.m. GMT. We're broadcasting on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on our Patreon page, An Englishman in San Diego and Englishman SDCC. Of course, we ditch the rest of the streams around the half an hour mark, and we leave it as an exclusive stream as a prezzy for our Patreon supporters. Like I say, some more prezzies heading your direction, and it's going to be part of our news first off the bat. But then we have the audio version of the full episode. I'll edit that tonight, and we'll get that uploaded Monday at 12 p.m. GMT. That's going to be on SoundCloud on Englishman-in-San Diego-San Diego. We also have Spotify, search Englishman in San Diego, and also on Apple Podcasts. I ran a poll this week about where people get their hit of An Englishman in San Diego in their ears, and an Apple Podcast came up top of the tree. I couldn't believe that. Okay, I'm happy about that. So yeah, at least people are listening to them, and thank you very much indeed for sharing them if you did. And we have our complete video episode uploaded Wednesday, 12 p.m. GMT, free of charge for everyone to watch at An Englishman in San Diego on Facebook and on YouTube, Englishman SDCC. Shall we get on, and then we'll dive in with the rest of the day? Yeah, I think we shall. What's this button do? I know what this button does. It plays the intro. Yay! Oh man, what a week! A lot of overtime, so I may be looking a little bit frazzled around the edges, which explains why a number of the uploads did not get uploaded as promptly as I would have liked to have done. But we are here. It's Talking Con. It's a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. My name's Leonard Sultana, and I have my cup of tea in my cup of tea mug. More about that in a minute. Yes. Here we talk about Comic Cons, con culture, and every bit of stuff and nonsense that we get to enjoy at such events. And a whole bunch of people are joining us nice and promptly. These are people who obviously get their notifications through the YouTube. So thank you very much indeed for being a subscriber. Please do head down, press like, hit subscribe. Comment down below as well. Don't just jump in on the chat. Let us know how the episode's gone, what you thought of it. And please do let us know what we're up to and whether you're enjoying what we're doing. We've got, like I say, a whole bunch of people who are currently watching and saying hello. We've got Leanne D saying hello, Karma. We've got Karma Savage, hello, saying back, hello, cup of tears. Solicitor's Beg, sup everybody. Chuck Cook, howdy y'all. Yeah, it's just a lot of people who are really here and to talk about the fun stuff when it comes to Comic Cons. We're going to dive into some bits and pieces. I will turn around and say that we were supposed to be getting about 3 or 4 people bringing us live streams from the floor of the Javits Convention Centre in New York for New York Comic Con, which is running this weekend. At which point, all 4 of them have vanished off the grid. I have no idea where they are. I can either imagine either that the Wi-Fi inside the convention center is even worse than usual, which in the convention center, I will say it's traditionally particularly bad. But we also have, they just kind of vanished a little bit off the grid. So if you know somebody who happens to be at New York Comic Con and they would like to say hello, perhaps, message them and just sort of tell them that we'd be interested in seeing what the vibe is like from the convention center floor. So please do let us know as well. Jabberjaw's watching. Hey, hello, Jabberjaw. Thank you very much indeed. A little bit of a fresh face. Thank you very much indeed for you to joining us. Yeah, lots of people jumping in and saying hi. Right, it is our weekly show where we talk about all the updates that I can come up with when it comes to convention news. But to be fair, I'm going to be a little bit selfish on the first couple of news items because we've got a couple of announcements. Number one, as I tweeted and posted on my social medias, I'm going to be appearing at Wales Comic Con. This is taking place in the International Centre in Telford on the 20th and 21st of November. And I'm really looking forward to this because, well, number one, it's one of the big conventions to come back when it comes to pop culture here in the UK. We've got ourselves MCM, which is happening very shortly indeed. We've got, so that's MCM London. We've got Thought Bubble, of course, in November. The week after is going to be Wales Comic Con. So yeah, looking forward to taking part in this. I got the message through from Jane Milner asking if I would like to participate. I don't think I'm going to be on the main stage interviewing the guests in kind of like the long form, the 45-minute kind of conversation. It looks like I'm going to be actually on the floor. They're going to be doing kind of like a live stage somewhere in the convention center, maybe live streaming throughout the course of the weekend, and they'll be bringing guests on, and I'll be getting maybe 20 minutes or so with all the guests, which is great. I have no problem with that, considering that means I get to speak to bloody everybody. I mean, there's a fair old guest list that's going to be rocking up at Wales Comic Con. We've got ourselves the list on screen at the moment. We've got Evangelina Lilly, who's appearing, obviously known from Ant-Man, Wasp, and Lost. You've got Sean Astin from Lord of the Rings and Goonies, John Barrowman. Yeah, well, we'll see what kind of adventure he gets up to over the course of the weekend. Ian McDiarmid from Star Wars, a bunch of wrestlers as well. Dolph Lundgren, Rose McIver from iZombie, Billy Piper, the legend, which is Brian Cox, is going to be appearing as well. Jason Isaacs, Mark Williams, of course, a number of Harry Potter representative as well. Troy Baker, Mark Shepard, Liam McIntyre. these two are really exciting. My missus, Edward James Olamos and Mary McDonnell from Battlestar Galactica. So the First Lady and indeed her other half from Battlestar. We've got ourselves a couple of Firefly and Serenity alums. We've got Summer Glau and Jill State. So we've got the pretty ones joining us from that show. A couple of Walking Dead as well. Carrie Payton, Alana Masterson. We've got Clive Standen from Vikings. We've got Thomas Jane from Punisher and Expanse. Michael Shanks. Yeah, the list goes on and on and on. It really is quite an impressive lineup. Whole bunch of Buffy stars: James Marcer, Juliet Landau, Charisma Carpenter, and Mercedes McNabb. And like I say, all of these, I'm hoping that will be joining us on this little stage that I'm going to be afforded. And I'm going to get to speak to these amazing people. So really, really looking forward to it. By all means, head to walescomiccon.com/guests for all the updates and find out more about who's going to be there. And I'll try and keep you updated as well with, what my kind of contribution is going to be. But that is, it's confirmed. I am going to be there. And hopefully you can join us for that. We've got Takama Savage. Love Troy Baker. Good guy. Yes, looking good. Solicitor Smeg, are we talking an Englishman pop-up? Now, here's the thing. It wasn't going to happen this year, but certainly at a Wales Comic-Con and at other conventions down the line, I wanted to create a pop-up booth. I wanted to maybe pay my way for the weekend and hire that space, get myself a webcam and live stream it, and basically, do an Englishman in San Diego pop-up. However, as it happens, Wales have approached me, so I don't have to make any outlay. They're going to be all coming to me, so that's rather cool. Karma Savage, nice starting lineup, and Dolphin Lundgren. I don't know if that's I think she may be on her phone. Nice little. I like the autocorrect there. Dolphin Lundgren. As long as I don't call him that on stage, I think I'll be okay. But yes, it's looking like a real fun lineup. And like I say, the list just goes on and on. We've got ourselves a fair bunch of Star Wars alumni. I mean, Dennis Lawson, I could talk to him about all sorts of stuff from his career. So that could be rather cool. But, and yes, a whole bunch of doctors as well. Sylvester McCoy, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Paul McGann, and a bunch from Torchwood as well. Yeah, it's a great little lineup. Once again, head to walescomiccon.com/guests, and it brings you all the updates of who is there for this year's show. So that's going to be rather cool. I am going to mention another convention, however, which hasn't had better news, unfortunately, because there is Thought Bubble, which is going to be taking place the week prior to Wales, second weekend of the year in November. And unfortunately, it looks like COVID has struck on that one because they have announced a number of cancellations for their international guests. There's 6 that they've announced, which kind of I'm hoping will be the tip of the ice, the kind of the cusp of their cancellations for Thought Bubble, because if any more international guests do cancel, then that could really make a mark on how big Thought Bubble could be this year. But let's have a quick update on the ones that we're talking about. We have ourselves Scott Snyder, who has unfortunately had to cancel. I cannot pronounce his name for the life of me. Is it Chuck Palahniuk? Yeah, someone's gonna have to let me know how to pronounce his name. But he's the gentleman that wrote Fight Club for I believe Dark Horse Comics, or Fight Club 2 for Dark Horse Comics. Also is a renowned comics writer as well, but that's the title I mostly know him for. 2 great writers who unfortunately won't be able to make it for this year. The reason that they have given is travel restrictions and COVID concerns, which I can understand. The people, however, we're talking about are of a younger age, who thought that they may be a little bit, they'd be vaccinated, and you'd think that perhaps they would be a little bit more forthcoming about coming over to the UK. But there's one legacy creator in this list which has cancelled. But there you go. Scott Snyder and Chuck Palahniuk. We'll go with that. We also have G. Willow Wilson and also David and Raphael Palahniuk. Thank you, Dan, who's dived in on the old chat, and he's kind of given us, yeah, it's there you go, Palahniuk. Thank you very much indeed, Chuck Palahniuk. G. Willow Wilson and also Raphael Albuquerque. They unfortunately have pulled out as well. Yeah, last but not least, we've got David Aja. And we also have homegrown talent as well, who's cancelled this time around, which on this one, however, is understandable. It's Ian Kennedy, legendary comic artist from the likes of Battle and 2000 AD. The man is basically a living legend, and we want him to remain that way. So I can totally understand that. But it's now just a case of how that is going to update the rest of the guests that are going to be attending at Thought Bubble Festival. I mean, if I bring that up, at least you get a sense of how many more will be are still there and are still coming. But it's how further down the line these may change. So we have the likes of Mark Bernardin, perhaps. Now, I actually messaged Mark Bernardin some time ago because I wanted to find out exactly what his schedule was be. He's just done an incredibly successful crowdfunding technique for his new project, which is his first film. It's a short, I believe it's called Shudders, something like that. I've backed it because I've backed him because I know that he's a great writer, and I'm certain that he's going to do some amazing work on that short. But I was under the impression that that is actually going to be in pre-production and shooting around November time. So how does that clash with Thought Bubble? By all accounts, though, he is going to be still coming. Hannah Berry, let's have a look at some of the more international titles. So Alvaro, Martinez, Bueno. Now, this is actually combined with James Tynan IV, who is his collaborator. So you've got Alvaro and you've got James on a great book at the moment, Nice House on the Lake. It's now just a case of who's going to be coming between the two. And I'm hoping that as we get closer to November and closer to Thought Bubble, the international guests aren't going to start kind of pairing away. We've got ourselves Leanne D, who, like I say, is going to be coming to the UK and has said, I can say on my end, it has been a pain to enter the UK. Yeah, I can kind of understand that. And Leanne D is also saying some of those, like Willow, cancelled because of her kids, since they are too young to get vaxxed yet. Understandable, absolutely. And yeah, Into the Blue Mister says, to be fair, Ian Kennedy is getting on. He is. We want him to stay a living legend, absolutely. So yeah, let's have a look at some of the other international guests. For example, Becky Cloonan. I'm not going to put question marks on these people because I want them to attend, but who knows? Jock, I know from a couple of tweets, and I think Dan can confirm as well, that he's currently appearing in US shows. So it's going to be him traveling back to the UK. Let's see who else who we could. Gail Simone. I'm not going to put, like I say, I'm not going to put question marks on these people. James Tynan IV, Babs Tarr, Magdalene Visaggio. We've got ourselves Raum V, not just coming from the US, but also coming internationally. So he'll be coming from India. How is this going to affect? We'll keep you informed, and we'll let you know closer and closer to what's going on with how this is going to pan out. We're hoping that we're not going to be hearing any more in the way of cancellations, but that's where we are at the moment when it comes to that with the announcements from Thought Bubble. Keep an eye out as well on their website. Of course, it is the thoughtbubblefestival.com, and you can it's thoughtbubblefestival.com/guests for their updates, as well as they are getting closer and closer. Thought Bubble is going to be taking place on the 13th and 14th of November at the Harrogate Convention Centre. I will be there. I've got the whole week booked off. I will be attending. I think I put something out that I would like to host a karaoke night on the Friday, but then everyone turned around and went, we're not sure. And that's when I kind of got my inkling about where people's mindset are. But then we're hearing about, as part of, might as well put news back up there. There we go. As part of the announcements, we did have the announcement from MCM this year when it comes to MCM London. And they have announced what they're going to be doing when it comes to their guest announcements. Let me see if I can just bring this up, because what they've done is they're announcing that people are needing to be vaccinated or proof of vaccination. They're going to be wanting to require, I believe, the NHS app if needs be. But they're also going to be doing, or they've introduced a number of protections. And they've also turned around and said that while they're going to be acknowledging their guests' rights and their own needs when it comes to signings and some close quarters meetings, when it comes to the photo ops, there is going to be no shield in between them and the guests. It is going to be kind of to their own decision, of course. At the end of the day, here we go. We got the COVID procedures. Let's see if we can share that up on screen. So I want you to see this, because yeah, it's. Oh no, this is sorry, London Film Comic Con, but MCM, they're going to be putting the screens up and they're wanting full COVID. But this is London Film Comic Con. Do apologise. 19th and 21st of November, held at the Olympia, London. And yeah, like I say, they've introduced full COVID procedure, but they've also turned around and said there's going to be no screens in between the guests and anybody who wants a photograph taken. Proof of double vaccination, COVID-19 antibodies, or a negative lateral flow test within the last 48 hours will be required to enter Olympia, London. Please note, UK-based visitors can use the NHS COVID pass, and international visitors the equivalent from their country of origin. Increased cleaning schedules and hand sanitizing, of course. We recommend that they wear a face covering inside the venue. Guest signings will be taking place as usual. Please be respectful about contact with this guests, but it's this bit right here. We will not be using screen dividers during our shoots, but we ask you to be respectful of contact while having your photo taken. Those who choose to wear a mask should do so right up to the point that the photo occurs. After your photo shoot is finished, you can reapply your mask. Should a guest require any alteration in this policy, we reserve the right to change our setup per individual guest request so they can feel comfortable with the process, but screens are not part of our planned setup for the photo areas. Now, I brought this up with Mark Serby, who kind of brought it to my attention. And I said that was bold to go with no screens. And he turned around and said, well, someone's got to make that decision. Someone's got to be the first to make that call. And that's what LFCC, London Film and Comic Con, will be doing on the third weekend of November. So there we go. I still think it's bold. I have no idea how that's possibly going to work with a number of creators or creatives, especially the kind of I mean, if we can try and bring up the guest list for London Film Comic Con this year, we want to try and keep you updated. Let's have a look at some of the guests that will be joining at London Film Comic Con. Let's have a look and see if our guests. We got the likes of Fiona Shaw, Christopher Eccleston, Aaron Paul, Clark Gregg is going to be joining us. Very quickly as well, just to go back to the international guests that have cancelled at Thought Bubble. Scott Snyder will be doing a kind of live stream into the convention. So, I mean, a number of the creatives will be representing, but they're not going to be in person, as I'd say. But yeah, let's once again the likes of Clark Gregg, Robbie Coltrane, Karen Allen, Ming-Na Wen. Who else have we got? Brian Blessed's going to be there. Mark Rolston from Aliens, sorry. Amanda Abington, Andrew Robinson. These people are going to have their own individual, obviously their own thoughts on their own protections. And I can imagine a number of the international guests may want to kind of keep a screen in place. But like I say, and like Mark said, a show has to make that first decision to remove those restrictions and remove that shield, which does make such a difference when it comes to the photo ops. And it's the first major show. There's been a number of shows which have cancelled or taken the screens down. But this is the first one which certainly has made that kind of first bold move. And we'll see how it goes. Any news and updates when it comes to LFCC, MCM, Thought Bubble, Lakes. We haven't heard anything from Lakes yet when it comes to cancellations. There's a fair number of international guests coming to that show as well. How this is going to be is a little bit further down the line. We've got Leanne D. To enter the UK, I have to be double vaxxed, schedule a day today, which is expensive, and schedule a test to return home, plus locator forms for where I'll be the whole trip, which I know for Leanne is going to be restrictive because she's wanting to explore. I think she's basing herself in the north of England. She's basing herself in York, slap bang in the center of the country. At the end of the day, these kind of restrictions will hold up her trip, and I'm hoping that it doesn't hamper her journey. We'll do our best to make her feel welcome and warm, and looking forward to seeing her. Neil Roche. Hello there, Neil. Great to see you here. Hope to see you at Thoughtball. Likewise, Squire. Looking forward to seeing you too. Let's have a look at this. Andrew Dickinson did my first gaming show for 20 months at Newark Showground, about 10% down from last time. Spent some money. Well, nothing new from a convention there then, but there we go. Also, I've got Leanne Solicitor Smeg to Leanne D. You think it's a pain to get in, but not embarrassing yourself to death might be harder. Beans for breakfast. What a polite way to start your day with a heaping dose of the magical fruit. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I think Leanne's going to be a bit of a culture shock about. Indeed, can't wait for Leanne's reaction to Marmite. I'll be one of the first people to share Marmite with her. I will be bringing a tub of Marmite XO, so I kind of start her off with the good stuff. But we'll see where we go. Toby Tolentino, probably due to professional photographers dealing with random flashes of the glass barriers and any other photo issues with them. Possibly, but I think it is just more a case of this is the organizers wanting to kind of get back to normal. I think the organizers themselves are starting to feel hampered. And I think this is LFCC, this is Showmasters just being bullish. They're being, yeah, they're wanting to kind of enforce a new normal. Let's get back to some kind of normality, as it were. So is November too soon? Who knows? Andrew Dickinson, Ryan Blessed turned 85 yesterday, but COVID would probably be scared of him. Yeah, probably. If I was going to be a global pandemic, if there's one person that would scare the living crap out of me, it's Brian Blessed, or John Rhys Davies. One of those two. I would love to see those two on a podcast together. I mean, the levels alone to kind of balance out would just be absolutely insane. Just to let you know, I've yet to hear anybody else give me any kind of response when it comes to a live feed from New York Comic Con. So if we don't have a live feed, if we don't have any way of getting any kind of sense of what's happening in New York Comic Con outside of social media, then it looks like what I might do is we won't cancel the rest of the feeds. We'll just make the whole thing continue and live. We'll just do an audio upload on Monday. But I would have loved to have seen what the actual vibe is on the floor. By all accounts, it's a lot quieter. people were talking anywhere between a 50 and 70% reduction. People in the main on the floor were wearing their masks. A lot of people were posting about events and lines where people weren't wearing the mask. So I think is where people, if you kind of look for people that aren't wearing the masks, you're going to see them, if that makes sense. So there we go. We've got ourselves Toby asking, Solicitor Meg, okay, what is the hell is Marmite? Now this is where there's a common mistake here. Toby is saying Marmite / Vegemite is a salt lick in a pate paste form. Marmite and Vegemite are two separate things. There's a definite taste difference. So no, it is a yeast extract. It's very strong. It's very thick and very goopy, says Mr. Mr. You can also use it to tar roads. I like Marmite. Thank you very much indeed. So we'll leave the slander to Marmite alone. But yes, you eat it, and it is very much a 50-50 split. You either love it or you absolutely hate it. It's one of the two. So there we go. Right. What else did I want to bring up? Yes, this was something I was probably going to do at the top of the show, but I'm going to do this now, as it looks like we're not going to be having a kind of live feed from the New York Comic Con, which is a shame. But it was possible it was going to happen. I mean, like I say, I mean the reaction that I've been getting from people is that the Wi-Fi inside the convention center is even worse than usual. So maybe it's just a case of we've had no signal. I have posted the link to, like I say, the people that I wanted to beam in. We'll leave it running for another 5 minutes, and you never know, they may connect with us. We'll see what happens. So we'll share this with you first. We're opening up a merch store, and we're going to be putting up on the website. We've got a couple of things planned. We've got some things that we're going to be putting up. We've got some pins. We've got some T-shirts. We've got some mugs. We've got some tea towels. And I'm going to show those to you now. But I wanted to first let you know, I want to say once again, thanks to everybody who's been a Patreon supporter. So this is what's going to happen. If you are currently on my Patreon list, you've probably been on that list for a while, which means this is what I'm going to be presenting to you. So thank you very much as a thank you. Okay. Dan Berry saying, what about the T-shirts that were promised to on Patreon 5 years ago? Well, that was down to a supplier that went bankrupt. So there we go. Unfortunately, that's what happened there. It was basically a T-shirt design that they asked for, and then it just didn't deliver. So yeah, I can't help you on that one, but hopefully we'll help you with this. Basically, like I say, everyone who is currently a Patreon supporter, give me about 3 to 4 weeks. Give me a month, but I will get these to you, especially to international people as well, because I'm going to get these made up. We're going to put them up on the website as well as a store in the next couple of weeks. But basically, for those that have invested as a tier, we've got ourselves some bits and pieces, and the tier gets you more and more stuff. Okay, so that's the plan. But just bear with us. We are getting this out. But if you are a Patreon supporter right now, you'll be getting this lot for free. Basically, I will just get this out to you. Let's go through the merch and kind of describe what we're getting out there first. First and foremost, let me turn that one off. There we go. Yep, we've got ourselves an enamel pin. It's Arca Petit. It's a kind of a stylized version of the logo. And it's a pin that you can put anywhere. We're going to have it nicely enameled. It's going to be about yay big. And every Patreon supporter who is supporting over the $2 mark, in the English breakfast section, you will be getting a pin. So that's going to be winging its way to you. We're also going to be giving you one of these. I've got it right here. An Englishman in San Diego, our cup of tea mug. We'll put the pin inside, bit of protection in there, bit of bubble wrap. But if you are a Patreon supporter on the English breakfast level, you will be getting yourself a pin and a mug, and we'll get that mailed out to you. We're also going to be reaching out to everybody who is also a $5 a Darjeeling supporter level, because we also have ourselves some t-shirts, and you will get your choice of 2 t-shirts. Number one, we've got black or white, and it's basically, let me see if I can just make that a little bit bigger so you can actually see it on screen a little bit more. But there we go. You're my cup of tea. Nicely ideal for perhaps Valentine. I don't know, but you're my cup of tea, with the Englishman in San Diego logo on the back. So we're going to have that in black and in white. In other words, I'm going to be reaching out to everyone who is in the $5 Darjeeling level, and you can get yourself a pin, a mug, and a choice of t-shirt. Okay, so there we go. That's that. And we got into the blue mister. It's okay to drink Sauvignon Blanc from a mug. Absolutely. I say it's a cup of tea in here, but it could be whiskey. It could be Jack Daniels. If it is, I'm slurping very big slurps of Jack Daniels out of it. But there we go. Let's have a look at Solicitor's Meg. If it's branded Marmite, I suggest giving it back. Customers' officers might arrest you for having a weapon. I like Marmite. Leave me alone. Oh, gee, God. Okay. Chuck Cook, I'll be drinking coffee out of mine. Go on. Just this once. I'll let it slide. Fine. Michael P. Lagavulin. Yeah, someone's definitely wanting to go for the alcoholic beverage. You can drink whatever you like out of the cup of tea mug. So there we go. That's yours. And then for the $10 green tea level, you'll get the pin, you get the mug, you get your choice of t-shirt, and you're also going to get yourself a tea towel. This is actually something I wanted to. I'm going to possibly get it as a t-shirt as well, because I went into a little bit of effort into this, and I quite like the look of it. Basically, people ask me what tea, especially Americans, because I'm sorry, you don't do tea right. When I've had tea or hot tea in a any kind of American restaurant, it's lukewarm water in a cup. You're given the tea bag, and it's not brewed right. And I mean, there's a quote here, and it basically is made up from Douglas Adams, of course, the late great Douglas Adams, my personal hero. And it says at the bottom of the quote, "Drink it. After a few seconds, you will begin to think that the place that you've come to isn't maybe quite so strange and scary after all." If it's done right, a cup of tea is it's a thing of beauty. That's all I can say. So that's going to be a tea towel, and we're going to get that printed up, and we're going to get that done for you. So once again, for every Patreon who's in the English breakfast level, we'll be getting Solicitor Smeg, an Englishman complained about UST. There's a shocker. Yes, okay, a little bit non-controversial, but there we go. Every Patreon supporter in the $2 level English breakfast will be getting a pin and a mug. Every Patreon supporter at $5 will be getting a pin, a mug, and their choice of t-shirt. I'll reach out to you by email and let you choose your black or white t-shirt. Every Patreon supporter at $10, the green tea, will be getting a pin, a mug, a t-shirt, and a tea towel. So there we go. That's my way of saying thank you very much indeed for being a Patreon supporter. If you become a Patreon supporter, before the end of the month, I will get to you a pin and a mug. Okay. Basically, if you are joining the Patreon family for patreon.com/EnglishmanSDCC, we will be you'll be getting at least a pin and a mug for your support. So please do head to patreon.com/EnglishmanSDCC, and we'll do all the support, and we'll show our thanks by getting these to you. But there we go. That there, the how to make a cup of tea. Like I said, I'd like to get that as a t-shirt done up as well, because I think more people need to find out and read about how to make a cup of tea properly. I've got some other t-shirt designs as well. I've got some other ideas for things that I'd like to get up and running, especially as those things that can come in handy at a Comic-Con. That's the plan. Okay, so keep your eyes open. We're going to have this store go up in the next 2-3 weeks. It'll be available on theconventioncollective.com. And like I say, this will be my way of saying thank you very much indeed to everybody who has supported over the time. We've been very generous and been very patient with me as well. I know Dan likes banging that drum about the t-shirts that were promised some time ago. But at the end of the day, that was a little bit out of my hands. Now I've got a little bit more disposable cash to kind of throw at this. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the t-shirts are nice. I think I've got some other ideas that are rather good, but that could be rather good for like a Valentine's present, perhaps. But there we go. Leandy, I drink tea the right way, but as an archaeologist, I spent a lot of time in the UK. So there you go. It'd be a way of returning. So there we go. Right, that is our kind of, like I say, a way of saying thank you very much indeed with a bit of merch, which we're going to be putting up on the site in the next couple of weeks. But everyone who's a current Patreon supporter will get that out to you as a thank you. So expect an email through the door about your mailing address and also your choice of color, black or white. There we go. Right. What's into the blue mister? Something. Yeah, okay. Let's get some suggestions then. Things that you would find useful at a convention. What are those things that you would find useful? I would like to suggest maybe an Englishman in San Diego or a Talkin Con onesie, something to keep warm on an overnight camp. But how many people do overnight camps here? Let us know. Into the blue mister. Something that's useful at a con. An Englishman in San Diego foot massager. Well, there's only one of me, and I can't get around to everyone, but I'll try. I'm pretty good. I get the massaging. As Samuel L. Jackson once said, I don't tickle or nothing. But I am an Englishman in San Diego foot massager. So there. Yeah. Any other suggestions? What do you think? What would you like to see? What do you feel is this is why I should have done it at the top of the show, don't you think? What do you think should be an essential item at a Comic-Con? I was thinking like a Mylar bag or a comic carry case, an art carry case, maybe. Andrew Dickinson has put something forward, a cap. Yes, I was even thinking about getting like stitched badges on a bunch of white caps, but let me have a look into that. I'll see if I can think about that one. So Chuck Cook, an Englishman in San Diego cell battery charger. Okay, when I said I had enough, a little bit more disposable income to invest into this stuff, a branded cell battery charger. That might be a little bit outside of my price range. You never know, though, Chuck. Watch this space. You never know. So let's just make a cell phone case. Those I could possibly do. Branded cell phone cases, maybe. So Andrew Dickinson, stickers. So we could have anything. Put them on anything. You put them on a book. Put them on a... Yeah, I don't see why not. Stickers. Yeah, why not? I mean, there is. Let me see if I can find it, because there is one piece of artwork that I would love to get on stuff. The only downside to it is I found the artist that did it, and they just won't get back to me. I've messaged them several times, and it's basically a cartoon of Captain Britain drinking a cup of tea. I personally think it looks absolutely amazing, but I cannot find anyone that will admit to. Well, I think I found the artist, but they won't message back. They won't let me. They won't talk to me. Apparently, it was done as a commission, but I've had nothing. I've had absolutely nothing about who it could be. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I would love to get that as a poster or as an enamel pin. I'd love that. I think that is a great graphic, but I can't get anyone to own up to it, or at least kind of put it forward. So there we go. Yeah, suddenly all the traffic crossing buttons around the convention center have an Englishman in San Diego stickers. Hey, I have no problem with that branding whatsoever. I think the convention center might have an issue, but if you want to bang a load of stickers up, I have no problem. A signed An Englishman in San Diego program for San Diego Comic-Con week. I can do that anytime. You come up to me, I will sign anything you like, because yeah, I'm an egotist and I'll sign it, no worries. So let's just make a little handheld fan. Yeah, I like the idea. I'm going to keep an eye on all of these ideas, and I'll possibly put them up on the merch store. But if I can come up with something that we can get up and running on the store, but like I say, the free stuff we'll try and get organized in the next couple of weeks. Leonard is pretty much tall enough to slap a sticker on the Hall H sign. Yes, I can. I know I can reach that Hall H sign with a bit of a leap. And not only that, but there's not as much weight for me to get even higher this time, so I can probably get up there. But there we go. And let's have a look at this. So if I get the tea in time, you want photos at the convention center. Which convention center? At San Diego? Are you going to be there? A flag. I mean, that'd be great, wouldn't it? That there, the Union Jack, Captain Britain sipping a cup of tea. I'd have no problem with that. But there we go. Right. And yeah, we still have had no word from anybody that's going to be, or anyone who's at New York Comic Con. We did have something that was mentioned earlier, and I swear I have been doing my absolute damnedest to find out more about this. This is Dan Berry, who also brought this up, a vendor that did get booted at San Diego Comic Con. Now, we did find out about somebody else, or the kind of an adjacent person. Basically, an Instagram post was put up by this was Invasion Toys. Let's bring this up on screen. I mean, this is I'd definitely say this is big news when it comes to New York Comic Con. But we still haven't got a name of who the true offending article or people are. But this was Invasion Toys. It was a quick update. There was a whole bunch of comments, which I think they've removed by the looks of things. A lot of people dissing on New York Comic Con, which doesn't really help anybody's matters at all. But the post basically says, from Invasion Toys, due to the unfortunate actions of a partnering booth, we are being asked to leave New York Comic Con. Remaining drops and items will be available online. We appreciate everyone's patience while we get our affairs in order. Stay locked to our page for further updates. Yeah, I get it. I don't necessarily understand why Invasion Toys have been booted if they then followed through with the mask mandate unless they agreed with their partners, and they also kind of gave that response. There's a number of comments. I mean, the comments, as you can see there, have been removed or they've been locked from that post. But the comments that I saw when I saw this original post, there was stuff like, we were there talking to you. We were up close and personal. And we were, we had NYCC, New York Comic Con staff telling us or pretty much yelling at us to keep our distance. So it seems like there were a number of people breaking that infraction, and Invasion Toys were not backing it up. So now it's a question of how much culpability Invasion Toys has in this behavior. Are they effectively, with this post, throwing their partnering company under the bus and basically blaming them for being ejected? Or were Invasion Toys as guilty as the others? The comments, like I say, were vastly in the majority of F New York Comic Con. We'll get our stuff from elsewhere. We'll have our moment in the sun. Yada yada yada. We support you, which I get. Okay, that bit's fine. We'll back you left, right, and center. Fine. Supporting the company is great, but if that company at the end of the day is doing wrong, and yes, right now breaking mask quarantine or mask restrictions rules when they have been told that this is something that they need to enforce, at the end of the day, we understand it. But there we go. But that's as far as I got. I tried to do a little bit more research on this one, Dan. I tried to get more information. This is pretty much the end of the line so far. I suspect more will come out of it, because I know that Heidi McDonald from her site and the Comic-Con as well, they're doing their research. They're trying to find out more about who's done what. But right now it's Invasion Toys, and I mean, a number of people were asking to name and shame, but not as many as you'd think. They just kind of want to leave it as is. Toby Kristen saying the videos and photos of a New York Comic Con vendor floor looks somewhat empty comparatively. Yes, that's what I've been hearing. Like I say, the statistic I've been hearing is anywhere between 50 and 70% drop, which is quite a considerable amount of people. A lot of people are actually quite happy about it. They're not only just to be safe and have that kind of distance from people, but also just being able to move around the convention floor. So yeah, that kind of says a little bit more about New York Comic Con. But yeah, it is definitely taken a severe hit when it comes to the actual attendance. But that's also a question then of how many tickets they actually sold. So it's a case of swings and roundabouts. Is this an enforced attendance drop, or is this just people wanting to dial back? However, there's a number of website additions, so do head to New York Comic Con website. Frank Cho, Eric Larson, they're putting interviews up regarding their McDonald's Entertainment Education Program, APA Next. We've got a whole bunch of panels that are going well. Writing Gotham City with Brian Azzarello, Frank Thierry, Peter J. Tomasi, and Cami Garcia. That was an hour ago. So these events are taking place, and people are really kind of excited about it. But yeah, the actual drop itself, the actual show itself, does seem to be very much of a slightly more rarefied event. So let's have a quick look at some of the social media for Comic-Con. Adam Savage obviously being safe. We got his shield up there. He's got his mask on as well, and it's catching up with a whole bunch of fans. We've got that plastic shield in between and protecting people. So that's Adam Savage keeping himself nice and safe. We've got some great guests, but let's have a look at this. We've got a charity art auction. Here we go. There's a sense of what we can be expecting. Charity art auction. Let's have a quick zoom in and see exactly what we like with the masks. We've got people wearing them on the chins. We've got 1 or 2 people not wearing their masks there. The majority of them are people keeping some kind of distance. There's 1 or 2 exceptions, 1 or 2 people being particularly blatant about not wearing the masks, but safe to say that that's I'd say about a 2/3 room in that picture there, and that is the St. Jude charity art auction. Yeah, it's a case of the quantity is diminished, and it's just a case of, but the quality is still there. We've got some great people representing at New York Comic Con at the moment. So Andrew Dickinson, 50% is probably still quite a few. 50% of San Diego Comic Con will still be closed. Absolutely. I think 80,000 attending at San Diego Comic Con would still be a quite tidy group of people. So who knows? Okay. No, we've left enough time. People aren't going to be joining us by the looks of things when it comes to our invite to join us on the live stream. Like I say, it would have been great to have seen something from the vibe, and I'm hoping we'll get more video, perhaps. If it's going to come directly from ReedPOP and New York Comic Con, you're going to be seeing lots of crowds because they're going to want to obviously make it look as busy as it possibly can. If you know anybody who's there, especially today on Sunday, ask them to take some video, send it to us, because we'd love to see exactly what we're expecting, what we've seen from the actual show this year. But there we go. All right. Thank you very much indeed for taking part in today's show. For everybody who has been contributing on the chat, it's great to have you watching. Great to have you along. Once again, that quick reminder, please. We've got people who are kind of jumping with some more suggestions. More than enough people are talking about shot glasses as branded shot glasses to go into the merch store. Yeah, I'm up for it. If you're up for shot glasses, I don't know what that says about me and what you think about me. We've got Chuck down for shot glasses. Solicitor's Meg. Lol, taking a shot every time Leonard takes a sip from his mug out of a branded shot glass sounds fun, but also dangerous. Or even just a sip out of my tea. If I take a slurp out of my tea, you take a shot. I think you'd have a better time of this podcast than I ever would. But there we go. Okay. Once again, if I can just remind you, if you are currently a Patreon supporter, every Patreon on our English breakfast level gets a pin and a mug. Every Patreon supporter at the Darjeeling level gets a pin, a mug, and your choice of t-shirt. And every Patreon supporter at the green tea level gets the pin, the mug, the t-shirt, and the tea towel as well. And these items will be going up on a merch store, which will be on the website. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll get all that, the math sorted out and get it all sorted. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind as well doing some branded masks, perhaps. But I'm just wondering where we are in the pandemic level. But maybe branded masks? That's not the worst idea in the world. In fact, someone actually turned around and said that he was surprised that more artists weren't posting or didn't create as part of their merch on their table masks featuring their art. You'd have thought that would be a natural fit. Why didn't they? Yeah, you'd think that they would, but there we go. We got somebody saying that they've tweeted a picture from the floor at me, but I can't seem to find it. So Who's that has shared it? That's it's Leandy. Just tweeted you a pic from the floor. Leanne, did you tag me into it? Let's see if I can find Leanne on the old tweets. Nope. So Leanne, we'll share that, and I'll go to my Twitter, Englishman SDCC, and we'll share that with more people. That's a pic from the NYCC floor. But there we go. Right. Thank you very much indeed for watching today. We are going to make this just a live stream, which is available to all, because at the end of the day, we wanted to have something like coming from the floor live, but aren't able to provide that. Hopefully you got something from it. Hopefully you've taken a bit of time for an hour with us here on Talkin Con. You got something from the announcements, but yeah, I'm not saying it was all downers, because it was about the cancellations, but hopefully the news about Wales Comic Con and the news about the merch kind of offsets a little bit of that. Hopefully next week there'll be a little bit more content. Hopefully there'll be a little bit more to the show. Do join me next week, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT, for another Talkin Con, a cup of tea with Englishman in San Diego. We may even try and get somebody who was at New York Comic Con to give us their thoughts on the show of this weekend. So fingers crossed we'll find someone who can come on and just for 10-15 minutes talk about New York Comic Con and their on the floor response and how the show went for them. Okay, thanks for your company. Do take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will be back 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. GMT. That's going to be next week. Please join us for another Talkin Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. For myself, to you, take care, stay safe, wear your masks, get yourself that booster shot if needs be, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.